save. But it was down actually to really some bad goalkeeping in the first place, but he got away with it.
What a start that would have been for Villa. It was inside 30 seconds. This is Bidstrup. And to think Harvey Elliott hasn't played since October and might have scored straight away here tonight. I'm so glad that he's got an opportunity this evening, Martin.
Well, exactly, and he's a great talent, and it would have been really difficult for him, and I believe he's trained really well in the background, he's got on with it. A decision's been made that, you know, obviously they don't want him to play too many games, and then activates that clause to buy him, so they're keeping their money in their pocket, Villa. Looks like he's going to play Harvey Elliott just in the 10 role. Certainly when they've got possession, they go 4-4-2 as you see right now, out of possession, but in possession Harvey Elliott dropping deeper.
Sancho, Onana. Lindelof, who's proving really useful, isn't he, to Unai Emery this season? Put in some impressive performances.
It was very decent in the last away game. I went to that game, and the two central defenders were quite magnificent. Mings was out for some weeks, playing from December, but they're good ball from him again.
Buendia with the ball wide.
I think Buendia is the player that's the most interesting player. How he's been given a second chance here at the he's really taking it in hands.
He was out on loan in the second half of last season. So Digne in at left back tonight, and we'll take the throw in here. Digne with the ball in, comfortable for Schlag. Schuster plays it forward. A lovely little flick. And they're going to be able to get at the pitch here. They've taken it quickly, actually, through the captain. Bidstrup, but too quickly for the referee.
Well, Lindelof, a judge there to be a bit firm in the challenge. I thought it was actually a good challenge. Adam. Unlucky there.
Gadu. Schuster. This is Gadu again, who came through Paris Saint-Germain's youth system.
What do we got to already?
Lindelof. Bogard, who again shows his versatility tonight, playing at right back. Really enjoy watching him. He played so many different positions, but
well, it's just as well, really,
isn't it?
With the number of injuries that's in that midfield area. Young Hemmings in there tonight, really big night for him. This is not an unusual build-up. Martinez is very calm in possession. They sort of lull their opponents on, but they've lost it this time.
Diabate couldn't make the most of that, and here come Villa. Elliott just asked a little too much of Sancho.
There's another one, Sancho. Against Fenerbahce out there, he was certainly their best player, Villa. He's been a slow burner, but it's interesting how Unai Emery gets the best out of these. It's almost like a rehabilitation, isn't it? Rashford here last year.
It's the fantasy post.
That Fenerbahce goal, his first for the club. And his last had been in last season's Conference League final. Konate, who's been brought into the side tonight. Bogard, Sancho. Onana. It's rather bounced off Watkins. like the interview that Sancho gave after that game as well, Martin, where he said it's nice to have a manager that backs you. I know I can do a lot more. I'm very hard on myself in that respect with the headlines from it. I thought he came across in a really mature way and sounded like somebody who feels that he can really kick on now at Villa.
Yeah, I think it's really important for a player to feel that trust from a manager, feel that he believes in you, and then you can just go and play your football. And that's certainly been the case, because he's been really direct. Foot was outstanding again at Newcastle as well. Some result that, by the way, from a Villa point of view.
Yeah, Emery understandably delighted after that match. Salzburg, by the way, are top of the Austrian Bundesliga, but they are in their winter break at the moment. Been runners-up in their top flight the last 2 seasons to Sturm Graz.
That's where you see Buendia in that little pocket. It comes centrally and does it really well in there. It's interesting how the players pick up so quickly the information. We've had a few changes, no McGinn in there, no Tillemans. And the players still really certain of where to be on the pitch.
Maybe.
Hennings has lost it. Here comes Salzburg. The ball slid through, but ultimately ends up with Emi Martinez. He will be a threat, the play you just saw there, the Japanese international, Kitano. One of 3 Japanese players in this Salzburg squad. Lindelof. Was looking for Buendia but couldn't find him. And Lindelof was covering. They've lost it again in a dangerous area. There is a really good energy about this Salzburg team, but they've lost it now. Perhaps Villa can counter. Elliott with Sancho showing down the line. Watkins central. Sancho. Elliott unable to keep it in. It did look promising for a moment there for Aston Villa.
Yeah, just trying to find that rhythm, that combination. Elliott coming in, Sancho just over hitting that one.
No.
Certainly counter-attacking well here tonight, Aston Villa. There's the overlap. Just too much pace. Salzburg, so I think Salzburg have shown a few signs here that, you know, if you don't press well, they can go through you quite quickly.
It's Konate's pass. Mings did really well there, needed to as well.
Cleaned up really nicely.
As Baidu was right in behind him, up it goes towards Watkins, chested down by Schuster. Diabate's pass. Played back by Kitano. Gadu. Konate. Kletzig with the ball inside, and the pass by Diabate. Alay Begovic, who's the real danger man, scored twice against Basel. Alay Begovic again. Diabate. Playing some nice stuff here at Salzburg, and there's a threat about them. Get a shot off here. It was Kitano looking to do that. They're certainly having a go here, the Austrian side.
Actually really tidy in possession, and that winter break seems to have helped them.
It's a rather theatrical fall to the ground there, wasn't it, by the captain, Mads Bidstrup.
to dive. Lee. Canate back heel. I think that was handball.
Wendy. Elliott. Sancho. Well, Elliott penalised. Look on first sight like he'd won the ball.
I think it's a difficult night for Elliott tonight, just trying to find his rhythm. It's quite a big ask. He's been out for a long time. We've had the disappointment of that manager, so obviously put him in there, giving him a chance.
It's been 2 early goals for Celtic in Glasgow, 2-0 up against Utrecht. Rangers a goal to the good at the Dragao as well against Porto. Still goalless here, but we had a great chance for Harvey Elliott inside 30 seconds.
We have, and it would have been a very different evening for him, wouldn't it, if that had gone in those early exchanges. Salzburg are very compact, not really going after the ball, quite happy to sit in their shape. Come here and have done their homework.
Salzburg's only competitive game since the 14th of December was last week's 3-1 win over Basel. The Austrian Bundesliga season resumes on the 6th of February. Sancho. Mings. Buendia beyond him. Digne providing some width. Hemmings. Sancho. Bogard. Just a heavy touch from Hemmings.
Yeah, I think it's just about having that picture, isn't it? Young player in there, before you receive it, just a little glance, look over your shoulder, and you kind of run into trouble there. It just takes time to pick that up.
He's a midfielder who can play box-to-box. Hemmings can also play as a sitting midfielder or as a number 10 as well, so he's fairly versatile in that central area. Part of the FA Youth Cup winning side, played an integral role in that, actually. They brought him from Nottingham Forest in January of 2024. There's Thomas Lech, the man who succeeded Pep Lijnders at Salzburg halfway through last season. He inherited a side that were 5th in the division, took them to a 2nd place finish, currently has them top of the table back home. Lindelof. Bogart. It's eclectic with the ball inside here to Matt Bidstrup, who was appointed captain of Salzburg last year. Schuster. Flag up on the far side.
Yeah, Canate just drifts offside, but it's actually good play from Villa there. The way they squeeze the play, it's not by accident. Just see how narrow those two centre-forwards are. They're trying to stop passes into that midfield. Villa don't really want to go wide. They want to go through the middle if they can. So Martinez just almost like a standoff here. We've seen this a few times already. just wants to suck that player in first, and then he's out.
Forest still, so I was
Lindelof. Wonderful record Villa have got in Europe since the start of the 23-24 season. Only Real Madrid, Bayern and Arsenal have won more major European matches than Villa. That was before this week of matches.
That was better from Hemmings. There he was being fouled, by the way, but he turns really well there. Runs into a bit of trouble again, but gets the free kick. Brave in possession.
Big night for Nottingham Forest at the City Ground, and there in front against Ferencváros, of course, who are managed by Robbie Keane. Bogard. Elliott, Sancho. Oh, it's a good run there by Sancho, but
He was in.
wasn't used. Begovic.
It was Bogart, wasn't it? Turned his back on the task, really. It was there for him. So Onana, perhaps, I think so. Apologies.
In 3 years at Brentford, Bidstrup, the play you saw there, that came off the bench in their playoff final win against Swansea back in 2021. Ended up being loaned to Nordsjælland. There is the king, isn't he, of the Europa League, Unai Emery. Has won it more than any other coach. Last week's victory over Fenerbahce, his 100th game in the competition as a coach.
Incredible record, isn't it?
Canate with Baidu up there with him as well. Again, this threat from Salzburg, and again they appeal for a handball. Martinez with the save, and the follow from Martinez is there again. What a brilliant double save from the Aston Villa goalkeeper.
Well, it certainly was when you see this first one, because he has to be patient as a goalkeeper. He's coming at a tremendous pace. Somehow he gets out a left-hand pull to it. I mean, look, good play from Salzburg. Just going through that middle of that Villa defence, and there's a couple of good blocks in here. Rings gets one in to begin with, and look at this for a save. He's got a player right in front of him, and he still gets that reflex save, and then another one. World class.
It's Canate originally that looked to have the effort. Mings trying to get in the way of it. That was the appeal for handball that I mentioned. And then it was the central midfielder, Diabate, who forced the more significant save. And then Canate was there again. Great work from Martinez.
Yeah, top goalkeeper. It's nice to see a goalkeeper catch the ball, isn't it, from a corner?
true difference.
Celtic have added a third against Utrecht. Engels with a penalty.
Martin O'Neill's going mad there. Can't stop winning.
Well, why did they let him go with the first time?
Ridiculous, wasn't it?
Bogard. Begovic. Hemmings. Digne.
The other thing I think for Unai Emery is the competition for places. You've got Tyrone Mings back in the team tonight. Really good start for him. Luca Dean, is he going to be first choice now, second choice? You get that competition going in it from within, and that makes people play at their best at all times.
The midfield area is a real concern, though, isn't it, with these injuries, with Camara probably out for the season, John McGinn's out for 6 to 8 weeks, Tielemans out for 8 to 10 weeks, Ross Barkley's getting close, we believe.
Well, he'll need him. Barker's done well, but Louise is a good acquisition, bringing him in. He knows the club, he can instantly fit in, the manager. You don't want to be without Tillemans for too long, though.
Nottingham Forest 2-0 up. Igor Jesus has got the second against Ferencvaros. It makes sense, doesn't it, that Douglas Luiz hasn't had much game time at Nottingham Forest, mainly due to injury. It was a similar story at Juventus, and this is a place where he plays the best football of his career.
Well, he might be looking at it thinking, you know, what was I doing? The grass isn't always greener.
Watkins couldn't quite control it.
Well, worryingly there, he just felt his hamstring, and you don't want to... Your centre-forward is not... He's having to play a lot of football. Mellin was allowed to leave in the transfer window and just felt that right hamstring.
Sancho. Movement from Elliott. Bogart. Lindelof. This feels a little bit flat from a Villa perspective. Mings, 6 changes tonight.
I think it's a big ask when you make that many changes to get all the connections you need, but they're starting to build.
Yeah, can they pick it up here? That's a nice ball by Sancho. Watkins. Diabate. Good interception by Onana. Digne down the left here. Heading clear by Gadu. Lindelof first to it. Harvey Elliott. Sancho. Bogart. Took that in beautifully, didn't he? Onana, it's not a bad pass either. Buendia was urged to shoot. Digne with the ball across just behind Watkins. Nice football though from Villa.
It was. Just look at Dean, that's the second time there where the ball in the box hasn't been quite what Villa were looking for. Certainly Ollie Watkins earlier was available. That time he tries to pull it back and he really should be rifling that across that 6-yard box.
It's one of the few times it's felt quite fluid from Villa.
Yeah, but you expect that. You make 6 changes, it's not going to be perfect. Your other players need minutes. People like Harvey Elliott hardly played this season.
Elliott. Good ball by Watkins. This is Sancho. Movement from Elliott. Corner kick Villa. Just seem to be upping the tempo a bit here.
Yeah, Elliott asking for a little bit more from the crowd. Certainly a full house, but it is a little bit flat, as you say.
Well, the job is done in terms of qualification for Villa, but how they'd love to finish in the top 2 with the advantage that brings in terms of being at home in the second leg in the knockout rounds all the way through to the semi-final. So Digne will take this short to Sancho. How significant an advantage do you see that, Martin, as being what I was just talking about?
Oh, the away leg, yeah, for second leg, away leg is perfect for you.
Sancho with the ball over.
You think you go to extra time, penalties, you want that on board. I mean, if you look at Villa last season, PSG, they managed to beat them, didn't they, in that second leg, quarter-final. Wasn't enough in the end, but it was significant on the night.
Konate, players arriving in the box. And Baidu is in there too. And now the flag finally goes up. But that those two players up front, Baidu and Konate, there's a lot of threat about them.
Yeah, and you know, Tyrone Mings, if you look at this and watch it slowly, how he keeps his eye on the ball. And this is where going back to see if he's offside there, maybe he is a tad off, but cuts inside. And just look at Tyrone Mings here, doesn't panic, stays on his feet and gets a really good connection there. That is first class defending. Be patient with your defender. Could get that wrong, he's in trouble. I think he's at the top of his game, Mings. I'm really impressed these last two European games. He came on after 75 minutes against Newcastle to help sew the game up. He's looking really assured there.
Mings. Of those front two I was just mentioning, Konate and Baidu. Konate is an Ivory Coast international, 33 goals in 68 appearances for Salzburg. Baidu, one of three teenagers in the starting lineup. He's Ghanaian and he could be in line for an international call-up actually. The Ghana coach Otto Addo came to watch him play in their last game against Basel. Kitano, and turned behind by Lindelof.
Kitano's impressed me, certainly his defensive duties. He takes that ball on really well there. Decent shape about them to win the ball back off of Villa. As you say, the two front players, willing runners.
Kitano's another one who's getting senior international honours. Made his debut for Japan in a friendly win over Ghana in November. Goes the corner. A chance for Villa to get forward now, perhaps. Kept in by Elliott. That's worked out quite well, that for Villa. Elliott. Digne. Hemmings gets involved. Sancho. Bogard. Almost half an hour gone at Villa Park. Still goalless. But Villa short of a place in the last 16, but as we were mentioning a few minutes ago, eager to finish in the top two. Lindelof. In the as it stands table, by the way, Villa are top right now.
Well, they still want to finish the game off and finish the league table stages by finishing top of the table with a win here at Villa Park for that momentum. As you know, big game coming up for the weekend.
Baidu looked as though he got too early there. And we have your good friend Prince William in attendance, Martin.
Yeah, he really wasn't.
That's your man of the match.
Yeah, he wasn't. Well, we won't have to worry about that tonight. Maybe he won't be listening, but he's certainly watching. I wonder who he thinks should be man of the match tonight. If we were to call one right now,
I wonder if he passed down a note. Good to see him here. Hemmings. When you first saw that social media post, how did you react to that?
well, we were live on telly.
Future King
We
of
were
the
live on
Country
telly, so I
questioning
kind of
your man of
felt
the
like
match award.
kind of off with my head was the feeling. Sorry, Your Highness. But, you know, we have to make these calls.
Martinez getting that right on the edge of the box.
Goodness, yes. thought he was outside the box, to be fair.
It's a close run thing. Oh, Mings has lost it. It's a tap in, is it? Well, it's gone in off Lindelof, but it's the mistake at the back. And Salzburg have profited.
That's silence to look at.
Well, they're all looking round at each other. Such an error, but it's been seized upon.
Well, I think you should blame me because I was putting so much praise at his door, and that is an awful mistake to make. And I think here it's obviously good pressing. He just gets caught in two minds, and then in a flash, it's in the back of the net. Nick Lindelof puts it into his own net.
Well, it's Canate who looks to try and turn it towards goal, but it does look like an own goal, doesn't it, from Lindelof, who desperately attempts to try and keep it out.
Well, he could have kept that out, but he wasn't expecting. I know you should expect the unexpected as a defender, but things was in such good form there that was really, really disappointing.
You can hear the Villa crowd trying to gee their side up. We did mention earlier that Watkins did seem to hold his hamstring area, and word down from the touchline is that Rodgers is potentially going to be coming on. We'll keep an eye on that.
Well, that would be another disaster if Ollie Watkins is injured, and they can't really take that risk. You've got to get him out of there.
I have to admire, though, Martin, the energy and the pressing of particularly Canate and Baiju, because they're causing
Certainly
a lot of problems, aren't they?
Catano as well, he's just blocking that pass into the middle. They're quite narrow. They seem to have unnerved Tyrone Mings.
So Trummer is the player who's been booked.
Watkins has now gone off. Won't take any further part in this game. I think that's the right call. It's too valuable.
With Villa safely through as well, makes no sense to take any chances, so Rodgers comes on a lot sooner than he might have expected. Let's just hope that that is nothing serious, it's just a precaution. But it was 12 minutes ago that he did initially pull up when you noticed it, Martin.
Yeah, when he signalled to the bench, and there's signs you've got to get someone out, and you know their transfer situation here where they have to balance the books, to be with just one striker, I mean, it shows you how well they're doing, but it's not ideal. He's the one player really that should have been rested tonight in retrospect.
Well, Unai Emery will be delighted that he's got Tammy Abraham through the door, somebody who's been here in the past. There's that pressing again. Baiju, well, he had a go, and it's straight at Martinez, but that is a real let-off for Villa.
Yeah, Catano again, he's picked the pocket of the youngster in there. He's taken too long. He's just got to pop that out, and they're on him in a flash. Again, the keeper stands firm. It's right down his throat.
But that time it was Bidstrup who won it back. And of course, this is a must-win game for Salzburg if they're to get into the playoff places, and as it stands they are just inside them as a result of that goal. 24th in the table, but what a story it would be for them if they were to somehow, it looks in a hopeless position going into match day 7, but have beaten Basel and now are winning away at Aston Villa, and it could get better for them here. Baiju gets past Mings, and Bogart did really well.
That's a really good run there from the youngster. He just gets, in the end, I think he runs out of steam a little bit. Again, he goes away from Mings there really quite comfortably. Pitching the ball. Yeah, they're pitching the ball in the middle of the pitch, and then they put that pace, that counter-attack, and it's really effective. Good organisation, really compact in the middle of the pitch.
This is a club whose record in this competition is awful. They've lost their last 8 Europa League games on their travels and haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 15 Europa League away games, but this could hardly really have gone too much better for Thomas Lecce's side so far tonight. They had that very early scare, that great opportunity for Harvey Elliott.
I know you've got 2 experienced central defenders there, but I think it's a little bit of a nightmare when you've got that kind of pace around you. Baidu, Kanate, both really quick.
Such an inexperienced Salzburg team as well. The average age of the 10 outfield players tonight, Martin, is 20 and a half.
Yeah, but they're handling the occasion well and handling the football well. No one's panicking. Good work rate out of possession. Look at this. Once more.
I asked the coach, Thomas Lecce, about being in charge of such a young group of players ahead of this game, and one of the things he said was their energy is fantastic, and that is something that we've seen, isn't it? Particularly in that final third, and indeed in the centre of the park as well.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Trevor, the right back, is flying up and down. They've just been booked, but there's really good energy here. Certainly wonder what they were doing in the early part of this tournament.
Sancho. Rodgers on the move. It's Gadu who came across to meet him.
He looks strong, Gadu there. Rodgers is on his feet, it's the good news.
Elliott. Hemmings. Promising this for Villa, is it? That's a good slanting challenge. By Trummer. Onana. Get hold of that. This is Kanate. He's got players left and right of him. Baidu through the middle as well. Like Begovic. It's a bit wild.
Well, we've seen better from him in the previous games. They're certainly in the mood, Salzburg.
Certainly an own goal from Lindelof, turning into his own net and trying to keep it out.
I think Tyrone Mings had a moment like this, didn't he, in the Champions League last year? I think he certainly made a mistake, something similar. He won't want me to remind him. He put that to one side for the rest of the season. He'll need to do the same here. It can happen.
So inside the final 5 minutes of this first half. Bidstrup. Schuster. Diabate. I mentioned how poor Salzburg have been away from home for a long time in Europe. Of course, Villa traditionally have been so strong at home. You have to say that that Salzburg have been the better side so far tonight.
I've been really impressed. Certainly out of possession, and nice and compact. You know, Villa make it difficult for you because they get that box of four in midfield, but that hasn't been a problem. They haven't been able to get into that. I know they've got a little bit of inexperience in the midfield, but, you know, credit them with really good pace up top.
Tonight Villa looking to set a new club record of 7 European wins in a row at home. But they find themselves behind as we head towards half-time. Onana. Elliott. Sancho.
Again, they're getting two bodies around the ball, working really hard, doubling up, no way through for Sancho.
We have the first T20 test coming up in the cricket tomorrow from 1:15 in the afternoon. Sri Lanka against England, that's live on TNT Sports 1 and Discovery Plus. And we're back in Melbourne tonight for both Australian Open men's semi-finals. There's Carlos Alcaraz faces Alexander Zverev, followed by Novak Djokovic against Jannik Sinner. Coverage starts at 3:30 AM on TNT Sports 1, and TNT Sports and Discovery Plus is the home of the Winter Olympics with over 850 hours of live coverage. Follow every moment from Milano Cortina with us from the 6th to the 22nd of February.
It feels like the Winter Olympics here tonight.
You are well that cold up, aren't you? I've got the heated gilet.
You're doing better than me, I'm afraid. Could do it one of those.
The heated socks are the game changer, I've got to say. But that man there, Martin, has got some puzzles to solve.
Yeah, I think so. I think though if you're into his players, you know what a winner he is. You know, he's asked a lot of his team this year. And this is having to dig deep tonight. Already lost one player, Ollie Watkins, so has to be professional about the performance, but credit Salzburg, been first class first half.
Oh, there's not enough on that. Martinez had to come rushing out. Nervy and edgy at the back of it again there, Villa. That's Villa at the other end looking to put up some pressure, but they work their way out of it well. Diabate. There's a Salzburg player down in the box. It's Baidu who was involved in that earlier opportunity when Martinez had to come rushing out.
Well, again, it's pace that's causing major issues for Aston Villa.
Now, he's just been a real nuisance to that Villa backline throughout this first half. You could say the same of Konate as well. Martinez did well to get there, didn't he?
He did, just to see whether there's any real contact there. You know, I think that Martinez is getting to that ball, isn't he? He gets there and he just has to follow through. Don't see anything in that. Maybe he's hurt himself as he's fallen.
So just the 60 seconds to add on at the end of this first half. What would be your first half reflections?
Well, I mean, he's been disappointed the first minute or so. Harvey Elliott just was denied, wasn't he, by almost a lucky save from the keeper, and it could have been quite different. Salzburg, though, I think they contained Villa really well with their structure, forced them to go wide. It hasn't really happened for Villa.
Just down to 10 for the moment here. Salzburg with Baidu having had some treatment.
I think he's hurt his ankle there, hasn't he, as he's landed. He pole vaulted over the goalkeeper.
Minks. Onana. flick from Buendia didn't come off. Now it's Canate with Kitano to his right. Plenty of numbers back. For a moment that he was going to find a way through. And it's been a good first half for Salzburg. Canate has been excellent, so has Baidu. It was Canate's effort that Lindelof looked to try and clear off the line and divert it into his own net. Unai Emery with problems to solve at half-time, and of course he's lost Ollie Watkins to injury as well, replaced by Morgan Rogers. A flat first half from Aston Villa. This a must-win game for Salzburg, remember, and they are in front at the break at half-time at Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, Salzburg 1.
How's he found himself in this position? Got to say, that is magic. Sell your car on Motorway, sponsored this European football on TNT Sports.
Hello, I'm Darrell Reeve. You probably remember me from the comedy television show Mock the Week. Remember that? Great times. Well, I'm here to tell you about a brand new show on TLC, full of the funniest comedians doing topical jokes about the week's news. We're going to call it Mock the Week. Yeah, it's Mock the Week. We're back, baby. Back from the dead. They said it wouldn't happen, but the party never stopped.
Brand new Mock the Week starts Sunday at 9 on TLC.
The fully electric Volvo EX90 with safe space technology. Senses hazards and reacts. The Volvo EX90, designed to be the safest Volvo car ever made.
Running a business, you will be outdone by the headwinds, outdone by the obstacles, outdone by the complexity.
Outdone, not with the most powerful QuickBooks ever on the Intuit platform. When a team of AI agents tackles jobs for you,
Transactions categorized.
and your accountant solves problems with you,
I can help you with that.
you can outdo anything, including self-assessment. Intuit QuickBooks.
Everyone is home, gaining the internet. EE Broadband can keep up. More people are choosing EE Broadband. Switch to the UK's fastest broadband provider.
I always used to joke Mum was like a secret agent. Her job in IT security was all mad codes and secret languages. And then a few of her secret agents left. Things just weren't the same. Now she's got this job, training digital skills at the college. New people, new challenges. Mum's got that swagger back. Still not a clue what she actually does though.
Give your skills new life. Train others. Search jobs in further education.
Step into an unforgettable year with a VIP, a very important postcode, because in People's Postcode Lottery's Postcode Draws, players in one winning postcode will each win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Fill your calendar with the things you've always dreamed of. Sign up before midnight on the 31st of January for you and your neighbours' chance to win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Is your door in the draw?
At the EQ, get up to 60% off all kitchen doors when you buy 3 or more, and up to 60% off selected bathroom furniture, toilets, and shower enclosures. You can do it.
The nice thing about the middle of nowhere is it's in the middle of nowhere. Get an Airbnb and go where hotels can't.
like during the day or weekends. Just check your energy company's website. Even busy people like me can take advantage. Just get a smart meter and choose a flexible scheme or tariff. With a smart meter, getting cheaper energy is easier than you think.
Tina's smart. She uses Wise to send and spend money overseas. Tina's gone international. Whether she's sending money overseas or paying with a Wise travel card abroad, she can save up to 70% compared to using major banks. Join Tina and 14 million people worldwide who found a smart way to send and spend money overseas. Be smart. Get Wise.
Hello, welcome back. TNT Sports is the new home of the Live Golf League, featuring some of the sport's biggest names, including John Rahm, Bill Mickelson and Brian DeChambeau. The 2026 campaign tees off at the Riyadh Golf Club on Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. But back to the football tonight, and Villa made a bit of a hash of it in the opening half. Let's go straight to the goal. Tyrone Mings with a mistake. Victor Lindelof looking like he might have tried to save it, but we're not really sure if that was going on or not. It's not been given as an own goal.
Yeah.
It's gone down as Canate.
Canate's gone. Yeah, I mean, we have to look at the replays and certain angles. To me, it looked like it was either going to creep sort of inside the post or just go wide. But Tyrone Mings here, look, he looks up, he goes to play it to Martinez. He sees that there's a player there in Canate, so he sort of has a split-second doubt in his mind. And, you know, at this level, you will get caught. And it's an easy finish, really. He makes a hash of it, really, but when you look at it, but you see Tyrone Mings here, he just delays there, goes to put his foot on it, and then the ball goes to Canate. I mean, is this going in? It's not the cleanest of strikes. He hits his heel, really. Lindelof there, I think he'll feel as though he could have done better, maybe sort of done a Cruyff turn or gone the other way, but a real sloppy goal to concede.
Let's have a little look at the chances for Salzburg as well, because Emi Martinez has been called on quite a few times.
Yeah, a great double save. He's kept him in it in this first half, hasn't he? So you can see here, highlighted Canate and Diabate there. It's certainly Diabate in terms of making up the ground. Canate does really well to try and manoeuvre and get a shot. Ricochets out to Diabate. It's a clean strike. It's a great save in terms of going down his head, but he gets up, straight away. Reflexes. Look, it's a pretty routine save, that one from Martinez. But he has to get up, deal with it again. It's a clean strike from Diabate again, and then it's put wide. But Villa just getting sort of caught out again. Hemmings on the ball, and then it's there again. It's probably another routine save, but it's more pressure, an unwanted pressure that Villa don't really want. They want to be having the ball in the opposite end, but again, it's pretty routine saves for Martinez, but he's kept him in his first half.
That was quite soon after the goal that they conceded as well. And you feared for them for a minute that they might have lost their confidence and been rattled a little bit. Unai Emery, what are you saying to them now?
Keep focused. Obviously, there is going to be a struggle. I say a struggle, but Ollie Watkins has come off. Morgan Rogers has come on, so he's someone that can get goals. But keep focused, stay in the game, keep injury free. You know, we want to get through this. They still want to win the game, but next goal is vital.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys, and the next goal potentially could be coming up very soon because the second half is about to kick off after this break. Unai Emery, you saw there all smiles before kick-off, but that quickly descended because an injury as well as that goal conceded, and things aren't looking good for Villa.
You feel that?
Feel what?
The crash zone.
Crash what?
The crash zone. It builds suspense, uncovers evidence, foreshadows danger. You feel it now?
Oh yeah.
I guess I'll go and try and find a ladder.
We're helping the next generation become homeowners, making it possible for them to borrow more with the new NatWest Family Backed
too. It's why you can save £33 on this shop compared to Sainsbury's. So stock the fridge, take to the kitchen and bring more value to your day every day. Lidl, more to value.
On a P&O Cruises holiday, the great outdoors meets the great indoors.
Norwegian Fjords holidays from 699. P&O Cruises, holiday like never before.
McDelivery? You in?
I'm in. McNuggets, mate. Yeah, I'm in.
I'm in. You're crispy. McDelivery. Big chicken sandwich. I'm in.
There's nothing quite like a delivery. You in?
At Money Supermarket, our mission is to help you be better off. That's why we'll give you a £15 reward when you switch your car insurance. And when you keep switching your household bills with us, we'll give you even more rewards. See how much you could save today with Money Supermarket.
When you run a business, great communication is vital.
I just transfer you. I think I just cut them off.
Welcome to the all-new Hi-Hi 4, the business phone that's refreshingly easy to use. Now with new features like two-touch call transfer and the ability to listen to call recordings directly from your phone. As always, it's all backed up by our UK-based support. Find out more at hihi.co.uk. Hi.
Hi. Where are we going? Where are we going? Please say somewhere with snacks. Hang on. You don't smell right, am I right? You're new. Polished. Confident. We are not friends yet.
Come on. Yes.
Right, fine, I'll get in. And I'm doing my judging face. Oh, smooth. Very smooth. This is smooth. Okay, I'm having a lovely time. There, I said it. Fine, car, tower.
The all-new Jacob 5. Journey on.
Need a spark of magic. That's what this place. Send your car on motorway. Sponsor of this European football on TNT Sports.
Now, with the women's semi-final all wrapped up in the tennis, it is also time for the men's semi-finals this evening. You can follow that on TNT Sports 3 tonight from the early time of 3 a.m. Meanwhile, back to the football, because today in the Europa League, it's gone from bad to worse for Aston Villa. So we know they conceded a goal. They're 1-0 down to Salzburg. They also lost Ollie Watkins. One of the things that we were talking about was just don't get any injuries tonight. We're not 100% sure how serious it is, but he's come off with a hamstring injury.
Looked like a hamstring injury, and he went on a sprint and then, straight down the tunnel. We don't know the extent of it, but it's certainly something that Aston Villa wouldn't have wanted with the three midfielders out already to pretty long-term injuries. But listen, they've got a team out there that's more than capable enough of getting back into this game. They just need to create a little bit of momentum, a bit of pressure on Salzburg, and then really get Villa Park sort of getting behind them as well. It's certainly a game that they can get back into. They've not been blown away in terms of that first half, just a little bit off the pace.
They need to create a few more chances as well. They've not had a shot since the second minute in this match.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Just create a bit more pressure in the final third, and be brave. When someone's in and around the box, don't really get in wide areas, don't pass back, put a ball in the box. Strikers, midfield runners, get across your marker. If it goes wide or you get a corner, just build a bit of momentum. The crowd get behind you, get a bit more pressure. That's exactly what it takes to build yourself and get back in the game.
They've qualified already for the last day, but they do have an opportunity to finish top of the table, and they want to take that advantage.
So Unai Emery will be in there at half-time, demanding that they go out, put on a better performance, and especially with this Villa side, we've seen so many times domestically, it's not a fear from going a goal behind. They actually play better when they go a goal behind. They've got more points in the Premier League than anyone else from losing position. So I've got no doubt that they come back into this game or create chances.
Unai Emery has had his say at half-time. Let's see what they can produce in this second half, where they are 1-0 down to Salzburg at home at Villa Park in the Europa League. Your commentary team, Martin Keown, and back over to you, Adam Summerton.
Thanks, Laura. So as you can see, a change coming here with Cash about to be brought on by Unai Emery, with Aston Villa a goal down here. They're currently in the as it stands table third. It would be a frustration if they were to drop out the top two. No worries at all about qualification. That is secure. They are through to the last 16, but with the advantages finishing the top two brings, they will want to still try and make sure of doing that. It's the teenager George Hemmings, who made his first senior start tonight, who's been withdrawn by Unai Emery. Just a word on Salzburg as well, who of course find themselves in front here, beat Basel on match day 7. But as it stands, they are still in the elimination places, 25th in the table, a point behind Ludogorets, Bran and Lille. So it's an interesting 45 minutes ahead, particularly for Salzburg, but Villa will want to be much improved in this second half.
They will, and they just made that. Bogart will go into midfield, Cash comes on to right back. The youngster Hemmings is gone off. I think you just need a bit of experience out there. Certainly with the pressure Salzburg were putting them under in that area of the pitch.
Yeah, felt for him a bit because he was suffocated rather by Diabate and Kitano, who I thought both were excellent in that midfield in the first half.
They were, certainly, and again, they don't... The thing is, I'm just looking at the Villa centre-halves. They're going quite wide, and they're allowing them to pick it off them.
You notice there that Yeo has come on, with Konate being withdrawn. It's Konate, the player who diverted the ball towards goal in that first time. I maintain that is an own goal from Tyrone Mings, but UEFA have credited it to the striker.
Or Lindelof, wasn't it? I thought Lindelof was the own goal.
Sorry, Lindelof. Yeah.
Well, nobody wants it, do they? Nobody wants the goal. Well, I wouldn't want it. Give it to the striker.
Trummer. Hit long by Schlager. Mings with the header. Diabate. Taking it well by Kitano. Again, tried to use the pace of Baidu.
He's a bit more central, Baidu, now that Konate's gone off, and he's got the same kind of pace.
Already has more goals this season than he did in the whole of last season, 7 to his name for Salzburg this season. Bidstrom. It's Trummo with the attempted cross. Alay Begovic. Oh, lovely flick! Super goal that, isn't it? It's only just come on. Yeo. Really good improvisation. And how about this? Salzburg have doubled their lead at Villa Park. And the Austrian side lead 2-0. Remarkable scoreline.
Well, Alay Begovic, we didn't really really see much of him in the first half, but he certainly announced himself here. Comes onto the ball, look, just a little feint. Another one there, and just rips that ball back with pace and his good movement. And a really good finish at the end of it. Look how sharp he is here. Look, just put pace on it. He just gets across the face of Lindelof, the striker. It's just a tap in. Begovic's pace is just too much for Villa.
Not a big moment for Yayo. Only his second ever European goal, but Villa coming under more pressure. Baidu with the ball over. Buendia. They really do suffocate you, don't they, Salzburg? They've been so effective in that respect.
They have, and do you know what? They've woken up in this competition, or whether it's going to be too late for them, just look at their position in the league table, but that break has done them the world of good. Whatever they were doing, they seem to be a totally different team, full of energy, good organisation, and a real threat in the final third.
Elliott. Will we see an Aston Villa reaction here? Rodgers is waiting in the box, but Diaz in there as well. And gathered in by Schlager.
Yeah, that's what Cash will bring you when he's on the pitch, that endeavour getting down that right-hand side. Just can't get enough to whip that back to a Villa player. Buendia there was just looking for a tap-in.
Lindelof. Elliott. Mings. Dinu in the first time pass. Now it's Rodgers. Salah. Begovic. One of those back. They certainly work so hard, don't they, these Salzburg players? Buendia. Collective work effort is, well, it's certainly tonight been exceptional. Buendia.
So also the distances between their back line, their midfield, the front players are so compact, it's difficult to find solutions here for Villa.
Digne. Helped on its way by Kitano. Baidu. Begovic has really got on the ball there.
He certainly was. He's woken up in this game.
Begovic, just 18 years old, the Bosnian international. I talked to his manager about him before the game, and he listed his qualities and said the other thing is the way that he's really impressed me is how open-minded he is to learning new things, and he talked about his work rate off the ball, and as I was just saying, we've seen that tonight.
Yeah, but it was a bit quiet in the game, but maybe somebody said something at half-time, you know, we need more from you, and he's certainly given it. Instrumental.
I thought this was a lovely flick, Martin, for the second goal. He did so well with this Yaya.
Yeah, well, again, he's come on, and you haven't really missed the player going off, who was, Konate was outstanding in the first half. He's come on with the same sort of profile, same pace, and that same desire to get in and score.
A night where Salzburg have to win, remember, to have any chance of reaching the playoff round, and they're 2 to the good at Villa Park. Cash on at half-time. Sancho. Elliott. Good ball. Buendia's on the move, and he got to it. And it was good defending in the end. Just nudged away from it, wasn't he?
He was, and it was more patient from Aston Villa. Bit of retention, but Trummer there just leans on him just a tad, just enough to put him off.
Mings. Onana.
It's interesting comparing the two teams, but they haven't quite got that pace at the top of the team that Salzburg have.
Elliott. Played wide by Bogarts. This is better, and it's just behind Buendia, and Digne got there. Some signs of life from Villa. Buendia off target, but that's better.
It is better. The crowd have been lifted by that. Again, Cash getting down that right-hand side, comes all the way across to Luca Digne. He's not really balanced there, Buendia, trying to get that shot off as quick as he can.
Just worth repeating the situation in terms of the advantage of where you finish. We know Villa are guaranteed to finish in the top 8. A top 4 finish means home advantage in the second leg of the last 16. A quarter-final ties. A top 2 finish means home advantage all the way through to the semi-finals. Villa at the minute on 4th with Lyon, Midtjylland and Freiburg above them in the as-it-stands table. Salzburg are still in the elimination places, even though they're 2-0 up here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world for Villa. You know, big games all around them. And not the biggest of squads. It's difficult for the manager.
Digne. Buendia. Harvey Elliott. Sancho. Provides width down the right. Rodgers waits in the middle. Buendia is in there as well. Lovely bit of skill. And it was Kitano tidying up. Out it comes now to Cash. Just a bit more energy now about Villa.
Certainly down that right-hand side, Elliott is... He's actually linking really well with Sancho, and now you've got Cash making the run as well. It's difficult for Salzburg to deal with.
Elliott, he was found by Sancho. Good take by Schlager.
Yeah, keeper was always favourite for that one.
You wouldn't believe it, the way that they played tonight, but Salzburg's record against English clubs is really poor. Free kick towards the edge of the box. Now, they haven't won any of their 8 meetings in major European competitions with Premier League sides, Salzburg, and they're coming under a bit of pressure now from Villa.
Yeah, it's a useful area here, edge of the box, difficult angle maybe.
And they find a route back into this.
I think it's important for that momentum, keep that winning feeling around the building.
Schlager rather frantically organising his wall. Cash is there, Digne is there. Floated in there by Digne, knocked down by Onana. Mings. Rodgers. Skitano there again, so many times tonight.
Well, he's unbelievable, isn't he? The amount of times he reads that.
Yeo, scorer of the second goal. Trummer. Baidu got there first before Mings. Trummer. Diabate. Oh, threaded that one through. And what a chance for Kitano, who found himself in a brilliant position. One of the best players on the pitch tonight, but wide with that shot.
Well, he's really unlucky. And he showed really good composure as well. Again, it's really good play. We look at this little threaded pass. Turns on it really nicely. Just, he should be hitting the target at the end of that, but you couldn't. I mean, his performance tonight has been outstanding. A bit of a let-off there for Villa.
Well, on this evidence, he's a player I think we'll be hearing quite a lot about in the coming years. 21 years old, the Japanese international. I said in the first half, only recently, back in November, was capped for the first time by Japan. And he looks a player.
He does, and what's really key is that the two front players are not too far apart. Look at it, got this standoff again. The Villa player's going too far, too wide for me there.
Was brought down really nicely by Sancho. Movement beyond him by Elliott. Back it goes to Cash. Sancho on the ball again here. Digne. Villa couldn't make the most of what had looked like a promising situation.
But it was a better situation because Martinez decides to miss out the press and just go long. I think that's their best bet. Salzburg pressing so well.
An hour gone at Villa Park. Elliott. Schuster puts it into touch.
Done well at the back alongside his partner there, Gadu.
So frustrating at the minute for Villa when they get near the final third. It's just that final ball that's not coming off for them. Talked about maintaining high standards ahead of this game. Unai Emery.
Not quite at high standards though by the manager of Salzburg, but they come up his shin. It's cold though, by the way, isn't it?
Not the best of touches. He'll be delighted we showed it in a slow motion replay.
I might not be able to manage as well as him, but I think my touch might have been a bit better than that.
Nice turn by Baidu. Tracked by Onana. Good challenge. Well won back by Onana.
Yeah, aggressive. Had to get that right. This is better for Villa because look, there's a good press, but look, take the sting out of them by passing around them.
Cash looks for the run of Rodgers. Schuster came across to meet it.
See there, maybe the difference. They've got good pace at the back there in that central position. Salzburg.
It's Kitano's pass. Now the captain bids for it. Couple of changes coming from Unai Emery, it would appear. Konsa, one of those coming on, and also Jamaldine Aloba is a youth graduate here in England's Youth International. Mings with the header. They're appealing for offside, but on we go. Buendia. Rogers. Buendia. Rogers! They're back in the game.
I'm going to go back.
Really nice
Put out on
finish.
skill ball. Then I'm going to start it. 3-1.
2-1. And we could be in for an exciting final 25 minutes here.
Well, I think initially Salzburg thought maybe there might be an offside when that ball came back in, but there isn't. They tried to play there at the deep at the bottom of the screen, trying to get out, but he's played them onside. And Morgan Rogers here, it's just absolute quality and class from him. Look, it's just a little 1-2, and then that straight shot off the left foot. It's just beautiful the way that comes off the bat. Really good technique, good power, and Villa right back in this.
His first Europa League goal of the season. Has been a check going on, but the goal has been confirmed. Well, he took that really well, Rogers. And they have been better in the last 10 minutes or so, haven't they, Villa?
The approach plays, I mean, it's interesting, they were passing around the press and a bit of composure. Everything was a bit frantic for a period.
Well, now they are actually still continuing to check this. Subs are going on. Conser has come on as we expected.
Salty.
Buendia is coming on.
You go.
Aloba coming on for Villa to make his European debut for the club. Now here comes confirmation, one would imagine. Yeah, as we expected, the goal does stand. Not
Well,
quite sure why there was such a long...
Well, 5 minutes ago I said it was a goal. Anyway, just knows what they were looking at.
Let's see if Villa can build on that.
Buendia off the pitch now.
Was visibly frustrated, Buendia, as he came off. Oh, nice. Much better now from Aston Villa. Aloba. Goes to shoot.
Oh my thanks. I do like to cross myself. Nearly.
Wasn't it? Roy the Rovers stuff off the bench. Good by the way, steps inside, hits this from edge of the box.
Great stop.
Yeah, it was actually. If you can find an angle, it's almost too easy for the keeper right down his throat, really.
Suddenly Aston Villa look in the mood.
I'm full of smoke.
Fourth in the table as it stands.
Look at that goal.
Goaltender's found its voice, and that's there to be hit. And Conser got a touch on it. Just like a different side all of a sudden.
Yeah. I think Elliott then has a shot. Who's out wide now, looking in a good position.
Cash plays it wide. Digne. Sancho on the left. Digne. Searching cross. Certainly asking lots of questions here now. Given away though by Bogart. Begovic. From a Salzburg perspective, they really need to take the sting out of this now because Villa are building up ahead of the
Certainly doing it, but it's going from one end of the pitch to the other. They're getting caught up in this.
Baidu. Yeo is up with it. Score of the second goal. He might want another here. Tracks his shot wide.
Certainly a lot of energy out there right now. atmosphere is completely different here.
Just come alive, hasn't it?
It is. And of course it comes from the team. Morgan Rogers, so often the provider of that quality.
Baidu. Out comes Martinez at the feet of Yeo. Elliot, he's shown some nice touches out there tonight.
He has. Do you know, it's interesting, the manager's kept him on, and you can see the quality in him.
Rogers on the move again. Diabate. Baidu. Kitano, who's looking for Begovic. Biggs. Cash. Rogers couldn't quite get there. Baidu giving it away into Lindelof. Yeo, he's lost it quickly. Sancho. Referee gives Villa the free kick, which is taken quickly. They're in a hurry. Elliot. Rogers looked for Sancho, and it made its way to him. Cash with the back heel. Sancho. Corner. And Sancho urging on the crowd in the whole time. Just feels like something might be coming here for Villa as they look for an equaliser.
Definite mood change. This is going to be whipped in as well to that near post with pace.
Conso, all of those in there. Lindelof up from the back as well. Referee not happy with something. Speaking to Diabate. Oh, and it's come out to Elliot! What a chance. It fell to him beautifully, didn't it?
Well, you know, you feel for the young man because, you know, it's in your career, you look at these opportunities, he's not really played much, and I know it's not his favourite left foot, but you expect him to hit the target there. Great opportunity for him. Dear, oh dear.
So changes coming here for Salzburg. Bischoff is one of those coming on, and also Onisiwo. We're watching Onisiwo playing in the German Bundesliga. It's Baidu who's one of those who's come off. Alay Begovic also withdrawn. So fresh legs on for the Austrian side. With Villa on top at the moment, inside the final 20 minutes here. They've committed 5 forward in this attack. Connecting with the ball wide, Mings with the header clear. Came out to Trummer, and straight out Martinez.
It's interesting, they always finish Salzburg with some sort of end product. Okay, I know the keeper there, that's a, you know, kind of an easy save for him, but good credit Salzburg tonight. Gone up a gear here.
They're still in the elimination places. Salzburg, by the way, just to confirm that for you. 26th in the as it stands table. Villa are 4th.
Is that man again, Catano?
That's how tight that offside decision was that they took a while over.
Well, I called that live.
You did?
Not many co-commentators do, by the way. Adam.
Deserved credit, Martin. Villa with a free kick.
I had to nudge you there for that credit. Nobody wants to be wrong anymore.
Maybe I could have been a bit more generous. Can they take it quickly? Digne. Rodgers.
They're pretty decent at set pieces, Villa. I think Tyrone Mings maybe. He's in there, he's having a fight with his opponent. If you keep an eye on them, he wants to stay in that space in front of the keeper, and they're not having any of it.
In it goes. They dealt with that one well. Salzburg. Cash.
Oh. 2-2. Really backing it.
He's been redeemed. To be fair, he got his team into this mess and he's starting to get them out of it. But it's a wonderful ball in. That's Cash off the bench, he just rips it. Nothing wrong with the offside. And then really good movement there and Spring gets the keeper. The keeper is nowhere near it, by the way. What a great header.
What a ball by Cash. Tremendous header as well by Mings.
I think that was important for his confidence.
His first goal since April 2023. And it took them so long to get going in this game, Aston Villa. But they're right on top now, and well, you can really see them going on and winning this now. They've got plenty of time to.
Certainly a momentum change. Salzburg, we say that their season, they've just come out of their winter period, are they really fit enough that they're not able to sustain this level they're playing at?
We've praised them a lot in this game, and justifiably so, Martin, the Austrian side, but maybe here we've just seen
some frailties. Yeah, definitely. Nice look at that goal again, by the way. It's always nice for a centre-half just to get there in front of the keeper.
Elliott. It's been a cracking game.
It's certainly our second half.
So another change from Unai Emery. Sancho coming off. And it's Young who's come on to replace him, another youth graduate. 20 years old, has represented England at youth level, joined Villa at under 13s. Comes from Erdington.
Not far away then.
Yeah, really nearby.
I'm showing my local knowledge.
It's good to see some of the youth graduates getting a chance. Of course, we've got Jimo Aloba on the pitch as well.
Yeah, that's something that Aston Villa have been notorious about over the years. Of course, Grealish is the biggest one you can think of. What did they get for him? 100 million when they sold him.
It's back to Martinez. Conser. It's Bogard who brings it clear. Elliott. Dina. Who did really well there. Could they complete the turnaround?
Jimmy Aloba's got pace. He wants to excite the crowd.
Yeah, he's been showing real expression on a couple of occasions.
That takes personality.
Dina. Jimmy Aloba. Yeah, personality is the word, actually. Cash, seen from Jimmy Aloba. Just expressed themselves more in the last 15 minutes or so of the Villa players. It's another example of it. Dina's ball over. More questions being asked of this Salzburg defence. Dina. Bogard. Rodgers.
Rodgers out here. Look at Dina before. You've got that sort of established centre forward who should be on the end of that. Abraham in the crowd must be licking his lips at the chances he's going to get when he gets into this team eventually. Sorry, Watkins will have a thing to say about that.
Well, somebody, Tammy Abraham, who's been here and scored goals in the past. 26 in 40 games in the 2018-19 season. Dina. Almost wrong for Villa there. But they have taken maximum points from all of their Europa League home games this season, Villa. Can they find a way to win this? Cash plays wide. Mings. Dina. Jimmy Aloba. Mings. Conser. Dina. Jimmy Aloba. Might have a go, you know. Slips as he hits it. A wide run for Elliott. Jimmy Aloba. Lindelof. Cash. Nice football. Cash again. While Elliott was waiting for the pullback, but he tried to beat the keeper at his near post. But it was lovely to watch that from Aston Villa.
Yeah, really good endeavour. Salzburg hanging on a little bit at the back. Cash there, you can see that injection of pace that he brings. Good save in the end by the keeper.
Schuster closed down by Rodgers. Schlager with the ball forward. Gitano. Olesiwo played it wide and now makes a run to the edge of the box. We've got squeeze on the edge of the area. Sent forward by Mings. Rogers combining with Digne. Bogard. Lindelof stepped into midfield effectively. Konsa. Young.
Just wonder whether Harvey Elliott will have his moment to maybe win this game for Aston Villa. He hasn't had too much luck here tonight. Could have been a hero in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, could easily have had a couple of goals, couldn't he? Still time for us to get a winner. Yeo. Trummer. Diabate. Siwa was looking for Yeo. Diabate. One is deflected.
Why not? Worth a chance from there. Diabate done well at the base of their midfield tonight.
Live Premier League football for you to look forward to. A classic Premier League fixture, Liverpool against Newcastle, Saturday, 7 p.m. on TNT Sports 1 and Discovery Plus. And then we head to Old Trafford for Manchester United against Spurs, Saturday the 7th of February at 11 a.m. And then we have every game live from the midweek round between the 10th and the 12th of February. Trummer with the ball into the box, easy though for Martinez. Just lost a little bit of momentum here, Villa. Yeo. Trummer asking for it, finds himself in a bit of space. Diabate. Schuster.
Was that a handball?
It's a bit fortunate there, wasn't he? Rogers with Young to the right. Elliott up in support as well. Young with the chance to play it across. Great ball!
God, completed. The comeback has been completed from Aston Villa. 2-0 down, 3-2 up. And they're going to last 16 now it's done. Hope they hold on. They're all the way through to last 16. They want to go out. We'll see what's done.
Substitution, Young. How fitting is that? We thought it might be Harvey Elliott, but instead it's this young man. He's been brilliant actually since he come on. He's had 3 shots since he's been on the pitch, and they just broke with really good numbers. And Young carries this ball here really intelligently, really nice footwork. He puts it across the box, and look at it, just begging to be tucked in, and the composure that he shows there for the finish is really quite outstanding. This is right out of the youth team and straight into the first team just in the nick of time. It's a cultured finish. Go and celebrate with the whole end. Perfect.
A moment that will be burnt into his memory forever, and how proud his coaches will be, his family will be. All those coaches who worked with him over the years, just 19 years old. But what a turnaround we've seen here. Remarkable, really.
Well, you know, it's as much a mood change as anything else. When Ollie Watkins went off, you thought he was all doom and gloom, 2-0 down. I have to say, though, Salzburg have really given a good account of themselves here tonight.
Villa up to second in the as it stands table, level on points with Lyon, who are top. Midtjylland 2 points back in third.
Big for it. Oh,
Should mention as well, because I talked about coaches who worked with him. Of course, he was with West Brom's youth setup as well. So there'll be coaches with the baggies who'll be looking on. Very pleased for that young man tonight.
That can happen. Players can be pinched off you. He's certainly a local man, that's for sure. In every sense.
Not like a handball, but it'll be a throw into Salzburg. They'll be absolutely kicking themselves that they've let this get away from them. 2-0 up, remember, the Austrian side.
They
will point.
Yes, but of course, but I mean, we know that they've just come back from their winter break and they look like a totally different team. I have to say that tonight. I think in the end, the professionalism, the extra fitness, the Premier League, I mean, look at the amount of teams that qualified in the Champions League. The top 8 yesterday, and you can see the quality eventually comes through.
And Villa on their way here to making it 7 wins out of 8 in the league phase. Is Unai Emery going to do it again, Martin, in this competition? I know it's a long way to go, but Villa fans will be dreaming.
Yeah, was it 4 times? He's won it 3 times consecutively at Seville. Anything with a Villa in it, they seem to do well, don't they?
It's just astonishing, the record, the hold that he has over this competition.
This seems to be his club.
Harvey Elliott wants the pass as we move into added time. Minimum of 3 minutes. Not long to go now. Villa, will they see this through and take the points? They maintain momentum for that man, and that was important coming into this tonight. There was no pressure in terms of qualification, but maintaining standards was something that he really thought about.
He sets the standard, the manager. I'm immensely pleased with those youngsters coming in because they're just an extra. You know, they're players worth a fortune to the club, just save them the money that they haven't got right now, or well, they have, but they can't spend it.
So much the talk recently about the injuries that Villa have suffered, particularly in the midfield with the likes of McGinn and Tielemans.
They need those players back.
Unavailable, but yeah, with players emerging perhaps from the academy, and then the likes of Douglas Luiz and Tammy Abraham coming into the club. That will really help them in the second half of the season.
I think they're just getting through this difficult period when they've got injuries. Hopefully Ollie Watkins won't be injured and he's okay for the weekend.
Elliott. Well, that would have been something, wouldn't it, if he'd added a second. Jumbo Aloba. Well, we talk about players coming through and giving Unai Emery more options. I think we can put Harvey Elliott in that bracket, can't we, as well?
I've been actually pleased with his performance. Okay, they missed at the beginning, and actually it's nice to see the manager keeping him on. He has got something to bring to the team.
Well, what a night at Villa Park. And the goal made in the academy won it for them. The assist from Caden Young, and then the finish, the cultured, composed finish from Jamaldine Jimbo Aloba in front of the whole end. A night he'll never forget. Completed the turnaround for Aston Villa. Just look at the smile there that was on his face. It's just a joy to see, isn't it?
So, I mean, so often they're not involved, they're on the edge of it, and so now he's the star of the show. Fantastic.
Showed real personality when he came on. We had seen the Mings get on the score sheet. Rodgers has started the comeback. Salzburg head out of the competition. And with some games still going on at the moment, the as it stands table has Villa in second place, heading through anyway to the round of 16. But they've done it in style. They come from behind at Villa Park to win by 3 goals to 2.
Villa flip this game on its head from 2-0 down to a 3-2 win at Villa Park. Home second leg all the way through confirmed. We're going to join the Goal Show Extra Team now to wrap up the rest of the action from around Europe tonight. See you next time.
I'm sorry, went back to centre on loan only a few days ago. And we'll open the scoring there for the Galicians. Look at that.
Why did they go in the Friday? That's evil. It's like Luka Modric from the other side.
Wow.
How about that? Seen some goals, by the way, last night and tonight. Individuals. Brilliant. Good word. Good word.
He touches it with right and he doesn't need to break his stride at all and just hits it outside his left foot.
And then,
2 minutes later,
yeah.
he made that goal again. Not as important maybe. Great football,
The finish again.
Yeah.
That's quality. Isn't it? Duarte. With the finish not dissimilar to Haaland last night. All done at the City grounds. Nothing for Ferencváros and Robbie Keane. All the spoils to Sean Dyche, as mentioned, with that excellent record. 2 for Jesus on the night. An own goal. And then McAtee's penalty to put the icing on the cake. Good night.
Good score, good scoreline in terms of goals scored, clean sheet, momentum going into what's got a huge game this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. And to Villa, where that boy has done every villain proud. What a night for him. Turned it round from 2 down, Villa. Been worried, I'm sure, Unai Emery, about Ollie Watkins' injury. But maybe there's resources he wasn't sure he could call on. He hasn't always been the keenest, has he, to play younger players?
No,
with respect to him.
If you look at what he's done with that first team squad and the individuals in terms of improving individuals, the top class, you know, he would enjoy working with these youngsters, and that would just please him even more. That. Super.
All done and dusted, Ali, in Porto. Danny Roll and Francesco Farioli embraced better in the second half after a poor spell.
The only disappointment was the standard and quality of the goal they lost. Overall, they looked fairly comfortable, particularly second half on the ball. Yeah, disappointing result. The momentum come to a halt because before I said the form and results particularly have been better. But mentioned earlier, you can't defend that way at all, man. Expect to win games.
I guess a bit bittersweet in the sense that it's a worry way it looked for 20 minutes there, but also you see the positives of a slightly more. They might have crumbled a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a fair point. 3-1 at half time, you're thinking worried.
Yeah.
You know, it could have been anything, but no, they did all right second half.
Deep into injury time between Panathinaikos and Rome. Remember, of course, down to 10 for almost all of this game with Mancini's early red card. They found a way back into it with Zielkowski. The points will keep them in the top 8 if they can hang on against the 11 of Panathinaikos, who themselves are trying to make the playoffs, ideally as a seeded team if they can.
That was a chance, Dave.
Yeah.
It just takes a heavy touch.
Yeah.
It takes a heavy touch.
They've got deeper and deeper, as you might imagine they would. Didn't change anything, Gasperini, and there it is until the break when he brought Evan Ndika on. Made some changes tonight, but it's worked out for Gasperini and Roma. 1-1, which I think he will take. He will take that man's goal. Young Zielkowski, the centre half. And it's all smiles from Atalanta boss. Not so much so for Robin van Persie. And final, at Betis, tough task, in all fairness, tonight for the final result just outside the playoffs. I think they are going to be eliminated, which is
really bad for a club like Feyenoord, really, when you think about
to say that.
They went not that long ago as well.
Yeah. It's not so much that they've got to Betis and lost tonight. It's that they